just captivates people and the people that have followed it for years and people that participate in it and stuff, and it's an illness.
It takes more than just running dogs to run the Iditarod. It takes a routine.
I'm going to go do a little bit of what those other people do, which is like run about 6 hours and the rest about 6 hours.
It takes overcoming setbacks.
She went around a corner and slipped onto a tree, and she just started really screaming.
And it takes competing with the best.
There's a lot of good drivers out there now. It's just the little things, the details that make it so that a lot of teams can gobble you up.
This race is I'm going to be as conservative or more than ever.
Running the Iditarod means harnessing the unpredictable.
Hey, 1 and 2 and no.
No, you got to point it the wrong way. What are you doing? You're pointing the wrong way.
Hopefully I can give some of those other guys a little more run for their money this year.
None of those guys had super dogs, and none of those guys are super mushers. I'm still the best musher on the trail, and I still got the best dogs.
3, 2, 1, go!
The confidence ran high the morning of the start of Iditarod 26. 63 teams left the starting line in downtown Anchorage on March the 7th. It was the ceremonial start, with the teams going just 20 miles to Eagle River on the first day. Among the field were 19 rookies, most notably Mark May, the son of 1980 Iditarod champion Joe May. Mark is no rookie to dog mushing. He's been involved in the sport for over 20 years, but it was his first trip to Nome, so he couldn't resist a little assistance from Dad.
I'm a pretty superstitious guy, and I've got laminated in my pocket a 1980 Joe May Collector's winner card.
Several other former champions were back for Iditarod 26. Five-time winner Rick Swenson returned with a new attitude after sitting out the 1997 race.
I was kind of maybe losing a little bit of confidence in my dogs, and not staying as focused as I should have out on the trail.
Defending champion Martin Boozer, who won his third Iditarod in '97, didn't see any advantage to being the man to beat.
Doesn't matter who won last year or 10 years ago. It's a new race, new competition, new race altogether. So it's who did what up to this point doesn't matter.
Two-time champion Jeff King of Denali Park and Montana's Doug Swingley, the first musher from outside Alaska to win the race, were also looking to claim another title. 8 mushers from other countries came to compete as well. One of those was Sven Engholm of Norway. He was running in the Iditarod for the 3rd straight year, and he was counting on his experience paying off.
You know where you're coming to. You know how it looks like the next checkpoint. You have an idea about the trail, you know. So even if you can see it so far, you can calculate so long time, it's not the same as you have been there.
Amongst all the excitement of this day, the talk centered around what would happen in the days ahead.
Getting over the darn mountains safely, that's always my goal, my concentration. My thought pattern is getting there.
Looks like it'll be a little bit warm this afternoon for the dogs, but we'll just take it easy to Eagle River and start all over again tomorrow.
That darn mountain range is full of challenges, and it takes a few days to get through them, and it takes a few days to develop a routine.
The race began in earnest on Sunday, March 8th. The restart is usually held in Wasilla, about 50 miles from Anchorage. But due to lack of snow, the race began in Willow, another 30 miles north. Teams were now 1,100 miles from the finish and heading up the Yetna River into the Alaska wilderness. major checkpoint was the Yentna Station Roadhouse.
It was great. Real nice trail. Good snow. I don't even think they needed booties today, actually.
Only 115 miles into the race, this is where mushers make one of their first decisions. Do they run in the heat of the day or rest their dogs for a nighttime schedule? Rookie Zach Steer wanted to know what others were doing.
Are you going to be wanting to stay?
No.
Just pass through. Do you want to
Anybody
take some
else
heat with you? They're all here except for Vern Halter just went through.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or at least they all stayed.
No, I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
Other rookies did it differently. Linda Joy was resting.
It's warm. Yeah, it is effective. And that's why a lot of teams you'll see are shut down right now. It's not necessary. The dogs aren't tired. You can hear them all barking and carrying on, but it's not good to run them in the heat.
Joy was on the Iditarod Trail for the third time. Since she did not finish her 2 previous races, she was still considered a rookie.
I'm feeling a little embarrassed from all the publicity and everything, yeah. But I guess all the people that do wish me luck, it makes me feel better.
2 other rookies looking to finish are Matt and Maria Hayashida, the first brother and sister combination to ever run in the same Iditarod. They too stayed in Yentna and talked about being on the trail together.
I just so happened to see an open spot, and then I parked the dogs and everything, and Maria looks up and said, "Hey, Maddie."
I haven't felt nervous. I haven't gotten butterflies at all, and I think a lot of it is, it's actually because my brother is running with me, because I know where he came from the same gene pool, and if he can do it, then I figure I could probably do it too.
34 miles upriver was the checkpoint of Squintna. Those teams that did not stay in Yentna were now ready for a break. John Barron was the first musher into Squintna, arriving shortly before 7 o'clock that night.
That's what we're planning on doing, so it put us here, so we're okay.
You're on schedule, so to speak.
Yeah.
It wasn't long before several other teams arrived, including the defending champion Martin Boozer. He was less than 20 minutes behind Barron. Boozer signed in, loaded up dog food, and headed down the trail. Just as he did last year, Boozer camped a few miles outside of Squintna to enjoy the peace and quiet away from the checkpoint.
I just knew it was going to be really busy there, So I figured I'd just pull off the checkpoint a little bit. They've been resting really good here, so that's the main reason.
Several other mushers, like Doug Swingley, followed Boozer's lead. Among those back in the checkpoint was Terry Atkins, a vet during the first race to Nome in 1973. Atkins was making a comeback of sorts. He was running in his 21st Iditarod, but his first in 4 years. The pace was fast. Boozer was out in front, but Atkins knew the early signs of the race meant nothing.
You don't know what the Iditarod's going to throw at you. I mean, right now we had beautiful weather today. A week from now we might be in a blizzard on Norton Sound.
Mushers continued to arrive in Squintna throughout the night. One of those who checked in was 18-year-old Kimmery Hansen, a high school student in Anchorage. Hansen was trying to become the youngest woman ever to finish the Iditarod.
It's really cool. It's kind of funny though, because people come up and say, "Kimmery, you're a role model." My mom does, and some other teachers and stuff, and it's like, I've never really thought of myself as that.
It's a long ways from the classroom.
Yeah, somehow everybody got that I'm supposed to be doing my homework on this trip. So we're going along, and then all these people keep popping up. So where's your calculus book and this book and that book?
45 miles away was Finger Lake, the heart of snow country. By now, teams in the front pack were starting to arrive. Dee Dee Johnroe of Willow was the first in, about 1 a.m.
Oh, thank you. Come here.
Johnroe's dogs were keeping her on schedule. Her plan was unfolding to perfection.
I'll be shut down here for a while. But I figured this was going to be quieter this time of night here than Squintna ever is. And I wanted to get them shut down real quiet.
The trail was smooth and hard-packed to this point, which meant fast times. So fast that John Rowe was more than 3 hours ahead of the pace set by Martin Boozer over the same distance last year. It was quite a contrast to 97 when John Rowe was going through one of her most difficult races.
I don't know if it's worth it or not. I'm going to keep trying, and I'm going to make that decision each time I stop. But I don't know.
This year, John Rowe had no doubts, and if anyone behind her did, it didn't show.
How was the ride in, Rick?
Oh, it was excellent. What time did Dee Dee get here? Midnight?
About 1 o'clock.
Right here, Rick.
Rick Swenson was one of a group of mushers who followed John Rowe into Finger Lake during the early morning hours. While his concern was to stay close, her concern was to stay free of mistakes.
And that's, you know, that sounds like, oh, that's so simple. But it's not really so simple. It actually has its challenges. Because you have a tendency to get impatient in the beginning and, you know, want to get away from everybody right away and everything. And, you know, that's not always, it doesn't always turn out the best, so.
Most teams were still resting on frozen Finger Lake, while the mushers took advantage of some comforts of home.
Good morning. The second morning of Iditarod.
So have you had a bitter mocha?
Not in the wilderness. Doesn't get much better than that.
As the sun started coming up, John Rowe and others started to pull out and headed toward Rainy Pass. Ramey Brooks of Fairbanks was one of those. Later in the day, as his team rested, Brooks realized he was being forced out of his routine.
We ran most of last night, but it put us where we had to run today. We're going to have to run this afternoon, so.
I wanted to kind of get a little further before I shut them down for the heat of the day, but it looks like I'm going to be stopping here.
Finger Lake had a true international flavor. Musher David Milne of Scotland was there. He was putting his own dogs to the test for the first time in the Iditarod.
This year I just thought, well, I'll try it out on my own. Yeah, I worked for Rick for 3 years. And I just thought, well, it'll be interesting to see if I can put a little kennel together of my own and get to know them under my own steam.
It's no dream come true for the mushers as they enter the Alaska mountain range. Finger Lake to Rainy Pass is a 30-mile stretch that climbs steeply through swamps and forests. Then the trail narrows and starts to descend. The dogs want to go faster, and the musher must be a master at maneuvering the sled. There are 3 drops, known as the steps, that lead to Happy River. It's the most hazardous part of the trail. After the steps comes the Rainy Pass checkpoint on Puntilla Lake. The first musher in was Rick Swenson.
Well, the trail is so good, there's no reason to stop.
But Swenson and others did stop, not because of the trail, but because of sunshine and 36-degree temperatures.
Well, this weather is wonderful for the musher. It's very musher friendly, not very dog friendly.
Charlie Bolding pulled into the Rainy checkpoint about an hour and a half after Swenson. Just 4 minutes behind Bolding was Vern Halter of Willow. Mitch Seavey was next, with a team that was still trying to find its routine.
Yeah, they're looking good. You know, it's that break-in period right now. Sometimes they look worse on the second or third day than they do the last day. They go through a transition, you know.
Yeah. Arriving 5th, right on schedule, was Jeff King.
Exactly when I thought it was going to be at 10:30.
By the afternoon, Rainy Pass was full of dog teams resting and waiting for the coolness of the night. During day 2 of Iditarod 26, the leaders were back on the trail by mid-afternoon. John Barron was the first musher to leave Rainy Pass, and within 2 hours, 15 teams were in pursuit. Roan Roadhouse was the next checkpoint, and the trail was about to climb through Rainy Pass. It's a climb to 3,100 feet above sea level and over rough ground that is covered with wind-packed snow and ice. Surrounded by steep, rugged mountains and few trees, this is the most majestic area along the way. Top of the pass, the trail drops sharply into the gorge that follows Dalzell Creek. Jagged rock faces, tight turns, fragile ice bridges, and even open water make this the most punishing stretch of trail on sleds. Don Bowers of Montana Creek found that out last year. This year, it was Bill Cotter's sled that paid the price. His brake sheared off at the top of the gorge. With no means to slow his sled, the experience of his lead dog was key.
I had Kai in lead, I'd have never made it. He never missed. He knows that trail so good. All the choices he makes all the right choices. You know, I can't even see him.
The gorge wasn't the only area of disaster this year. Further back on the trail, just outside Finger Lake, Kelly Mahoney lost control of her team after dislocating her knee. Her sled tipped over, and Bill Cotter was there to help pick up the pieces.
He came running up and help me hold the team until my knee got back into place, and then once that got back into place, then he righted my sled and he said, "You're on your own."
I don't know. I didn't know where the gorge was. Once I hit it, I was like, have I hit it yet? Because it was supposed to be this really awful thing that you come into. And we kept crossing all these streams, and then we crossed bigger streams, and it was like, okay, well, when did I hit the gorge?
Dee Dee Johnroe, again setting the pace, led the way to Roan. She and John Barron arrived just minutes apart.
I feel like I've been on a carnival ride.
The trail's nice.
But the trail's wonderful. I won't be the only one with a good run like that.
She wasn't. While Johnroe checked her dogs, Rick Swinson pulled in. But Johnroe wasn't wasting any time. She snacked her dogs and got ready to hit the trail again.
You're gonna keep going, huh, Dee?
Only took me 3 hours to get here. You ready, boys? All right.
20 minutes after checking in, Johnroe checked out and was the first to leave Roan. While Johnroe was all business, mushers further back on the trail, like Harry Caldwell, were starting a new checkpoint policy.
Come on now, look smart. That's hard to do, right?
Rookie Stephen Carrick was in 55th place by the time he reached Roan, but he had no regrets about coming all the way from Australia to run the Iditarod.
My sister bought a dog, and a sled dog in Australia, a Siberian Husky anyway, and I don't know, her husband raced it in Australia in this small sort of gravel races they have over there. And I saw that and thought, well, this is a bit like the Jamaican bobsled team. I might go to where the real thing is. So I came over here, and it was pretty cool.
Out of Roan, the mushers begin the second longest stretch of trail in the race, a 93-mile trek to Nikolai. Nikolai is the first native village in the interior, and to get there, the teams have to cross an ice floe just outside of Roan. Then it's uphill again, this time climbing a glacier that forms every winter. That leads to stretches of open ground and gravel, which create another type of challenge for both dogs and the mushers. Finally, there is the farewell burn, a 20-mile stretch of rolling terrain that once again this year was practically bare ground. Rick Swenson was the first musher to battle the burn, reaching Nikolai on the third morning of the race.
But basically what I've been trying to do this year is not make stops that don't make sense. So if I stop, I'm going to stop for a minimum of 5 to 6 hours. Otherwise, I ain't stopping.
And it did make sense to stop in Nikolai. The burn had taken its toll.
Yeah, the whole thing is rough. Really bumpy.
Boy, that was terrible, Joe. It was one of the worst, maybe the worst I've ever seen of it. Miles of just dirt and rocks with no brake. It was horrible. It just beat me up. I tipped over twice. Like the dogs figured out I couldn't stop them, you know? Yeah, they started running really hard. Trying to dump the musher.
At Nikolai, mushers are 365 miles into the race, and most of the traditional trouble spots are behind them. Now is when many mushers can start to tell how their race is unfolding.
Well, I'm right on schedule. I think my dogs have gotten the best amount of rests. You know, they've always gotten long rests, and I'm way in the positive on rest run. So in the long run, that's ultimately what will decide it, I think.
So far, I'm real pleased with it. It has afforded me a chance to mostly run at night, yet still I can run during the day.
I'm here sooner than I've ever been here before, but 5 teams ahead of me, and if they're all judiciously using their dogs' energies, which I would assume they are, then I can only get there so fast. We'll see if it's first or last.
Now is also when mushers start thinking about where to take their mandatory 24-hour layover. It's a personal choice and a personal matter.
Any idea where you might be eyeballing taking it? Yeah, I've got many ideas. But I don't think I would divulge that idea quite yet. Camera. Not on camera.
The trick is to take the dogs as far as possible without burning out the team. Teams that are pushed hard enough, but not too hard, will bounce back strongly after a 24-hour rest. But it's not just the dogs who need a break. So do the mushers. A little R&R and some new music can make a big difference.
Well, I don't know. Pink Floyd isn't my favorite group. I was listening to Tanya Tucker and the Highwaymen and Boz Skaggs last night. That was pretty good. Tanya Tucker's pretty good, you know. Belting out the tunes. Just I listen to the same tape. You know, how many times does it take how many times can you hear a 90-minute tape in 7 hours and 30 minutes?
You got to be singing along at some point.
You know, it's just but the batteries never died, so I never had to screw with it.
While the front pack of mushers waited for the sun to set, Mitch Seavey led the race out of Nikolai. He headed west, 48 miles to McGrath. The trail crisscrosses the Kuskokwim River and passes through open swamps on the way. McGrath is a town of almost 500 people that sits on the banks of the Cusco Quim. In the past, it's been a popular spot for mushers to 24. This year, it was a strategic stop for Seavey.
Welcome to McGrath, Mitch.
Yeah.
Woo, good time down the road.
See, I went out number 4. So some of those guys, when we're together in Nikolai, they got Charlie Boulding has almost a 2-hour lead on me. So if I just go with the flow, I got to make that up somewhere. If I come down here and get the clock started, you know, I'm catching up to them as I sit here.
Seavey was almost 2 hours into his layover when a headlamp was seen coming down the trail. The next musher to arrive was Linwood Fiedler, and one of his biggest fans turned out for the welcome.
Dad.
Like Seavey, decided to take his mandatory layover in McGrath. He felt a long rest now would set up his team for a long run on the Yukon.
I just kind of let them pick their own speed through the heat and not drive them at all. And that's kind of what I've been doing the whole way, is just letting them pick their own pace that's comfortable.
While Seavey and Fiedler were comfortable in McGrath, other teams in the front of the pack were pushing on. The tiny town of Dakotna, population 51, was the next stop. Another 23 miles up the trail, Dakotna is where 4 former Iditarod champions decided to 24.
We don't have to check your bag this year.
I'd like to park a little higher on the hill.
By the church?
Yeah. I'm going to go park. I'm going to stay for about 24 hours or so.
Where do you want to go?
Right at my church spot.
I want to go up by the church.
Okay, let me tell them, okay?
You got peanut butter pie?
Yes.
Good deal. I came all the way to get it.
All arrived just 7 minutes apart. Not far behind was Dee Dee Johnroe, but unlike the others, she blew through Dakotna and kept going toward Ophir, another 38 miles away. In Dakotna, the 24-hour layovers had begun.
At Dakotna, everybody eats good. That's, you know, inside the cooking's good.
This is as good as going to Mexico. Nice people, pretty women, bad gum. Food, sunshine, hey.
But there was work to be done, and for John Barron, that meant fixing his sled, which broke on the way to McGrath.
Take a look here. I busted this part off my sleigh, and I fixed it. See where it raises up? Oh. And I fixed it, but the puppy keeps ripping out again. So, I'm just not taking a chance with it. It's going to be, it's going home.
For the sled? You don't need it, huh?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with Ramey's. You know, I've already talked to him about it, but I really appreciate it.
But Barron didn't have to go home because he had several offers for sleds from other mushers.
I had quite a few offers. They all knew I was having a problem, and there's just some pretty good guys in this race. I should have known it. I've raced it enough.
But inevitably, the talk turns toward the race during the layover. This year, that meant talking about the good teams and a good trail.
Just cruising. I would have never believed that you could make these kind of times. Checkpoint after checkpoint.
I think it's good. I've definitely made some rookie mistakes in terms of how long to stop and where to stop and where to stop in the checkpoints. But I'm having a good time and figuring it out as I go, I guess.
Kind of like a book, you know, it's all going to unfold here, I think, once we hit the Yukon River. Who's going to be where and what's going to happen, you know.
What happened was that Dee Dee Johnroe and Bill Cotter were getting ready for their 24-hour layover in Ophir.
Coming in here last night, I promised them that it was going to be really fun when they got here, that I had a big surprise for them. So then we got here, and the first thing I did was take their harnesses off, because I wanted them to believe me.
I was planning on coming here from the very beginning.
But Johnroe and Cotter were not the only ones who pushed on to Ophir. So did Johnny Baker.
Real good for you, 24? I'm not too sure. I'm going to go to Cripple anyway.
Now, the Alaskan native from Kotzebue was threatening to be the first musher to the halfway point.
Welcome to Cripple, John.
Oh, thank you.
Bib number.
64. Did last. That should be easy. Right? He's not last right now. Yeah.
Instead, Baker was first, while other teams were parked 100 miles back. Baker would take out $3,000 worth of gold nuggets from GCI for being the first musher halfway to Nome. Baker would need a strong second half.
Thank you, ladies. Good to see you all.
Because back in Takatna, the group that had taken its 24-hour layover was back on the trail.
We got 15 seconds.
Oh, 15?
Yeah.
Bernie! Look at a big old handshake. Where you been, man? Come up here to play with the big boys, did you? Where are they at? Right here.
Looks like you're in a hurry there, Joe.
Huh?
Looks like you're in a hurry.
Well, I'm just kind of trying to get a little more efficient than I have been. Just in case it comes to a race, you know, just in case. All right. Coming through.
5 days into Iditarod 26, and the competition was starting to heat up. Johnny Baker decided not to take his 24-hour layover in Cripple. But less than 5 hours after Baker checked out of Cripple, 12 other teams pulled in. One of those was Dee Dee Johnroe. You could see the sense of urgency that she was starting to feel.
Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. This is my bag of stuff to go. Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Watch my hook, please, but it's doing good. Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. You ready, big boy? All right, let's go, honey. Big boy.
Johnroe and others had all completed their layovers and were moving at record speed over a hard trail. A short break in Cripple was enough for Johnroe and her dogs. They were on her way to Ruby and in pursuit of Baker.
Dog team.
The others rested in Cripple for 8 to 9 hours. All wondered the same thing.
Gone on is Dee Dee and John Baker. Anybody else gone on? No. And then
How long was Dee Dee here?
went through.
We're only halfway.
We're only halfway. Oh my God.
And the second half of their race was about to begin. It's a 112-mile run from Cripple to Ruby, and by 7 p.m., 18 teams were on the way. The bell signaled the arrival of the first musher into Ruby. Johnny Baker arrived after more than 14 hours on the trail from Cripple. Baker was greeted by a warm reception and a warm meal. For being the first musher to the Yukon, Baker was treated to a gourmet 7-course meal cooked on a camp stove. It was prepared by the executive chef of the Regal Alaskan Hotel. The meal included sautéed ocean scallops and potato cakes made with Alaskan king crab meat. That was a sharp contrast for what Baker had for breakfast.
Breakfast this morning consisted of actually a health-type sandwich. They call it a Nutri-Grain sandwich, and then that was after I had seal oil and caribou meat.
And to make things even sweeter, Baker was given a cool $3,500 in cash as an after-dinner mint. While he waited out his 24 hours in Ruby, others were preparing to make their move.
I'm going to sleep.
I'm going to take a nap.
You have an alarm clock now?
I do. Probably can't hear it.
What'd you set it for?
Set it for 1:20. We're leaving at 2, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
I need more time than that to get ready.
But now was the time to be ready, because the real race was just beginning. And there were plenty of mushers arriving. Day 6 of the race started with Dee Dee Johnroe joining Johnny Baker and Ruby. She pulled in with a dog in the basket. That left her with a team of 11 for the trip down the Yukon. Martin Boozer was the next to reach Ruby, and not far behind was Doug Swingley.
You got all that. You gonna do your 8 here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, got you down.
The 8 was another mandatory 8-hour layover that mushers must take somewhere on the Yukon. This year, Ruby was where the leaders rested. Charlie Bolding, Rick Swenson, and Jeff King would soon join the others. Last year, the Yukon was a turning point in the race for King. He was leading until he lost 3 hours on his run to the river.
I got a pretty big head cold going on. I was having trouble staying on my feet.
But it was Johnroe who was now clinging to a 2-hour lead after leaving the big boys behind.
A slight out of mind never hurts. You know, it gives you an opportunity to play your own game and hope that, you know, they'll let you go and they'll give you something. And, you know, they don't really know what you've got.
Everyone knew Tim Osmar's weakness. He already was down to 9 dogs.
Well, possession-wise, I'm doing okay so far, but I have a gut feeling that there's going to be a lot of people, well, a few people anyway, passing me up. Whoever's behind me real close is probably going to get me. But I don't really even care about that anymore. I just want to get there, you know.
On the way out of Ruby, the mushers follow Alaska's longest river, the mighty Yukon. For 146 miles, teams have to endure suffering of both mind and body. The river represents hours of boredom and monotony with its seemingly endless stretches of white nothing. The mushers' toughest job is to keep the dogs motivated and willing to go. The open spaces cause the wind to blow constantly. This year, snow was scarce, in enough places that mushers crisscrossed the river to get where the snow was. The Yukon is a test of will, a test of survival. The test began with a 52-mile run to Galena. Again, Dee Dee Johnroe was the first to arrive. And the pattern continued. As night fell, Martin Boozer was next, followed by Doug Swingley. And Charlie Bolding, the trapper from Manly, wasn't far behind.
Oh yeah, I don't want to quit. I want to keep going.
Is that good, huh?
It's that good.
Bolding did keep going. Soon after Bolding pulled out, Jeff King pulled in. But he didn't sound like a man who planned to stay long.
Trail report.
Get it from a local. It's a hard trail. It's just like you come through. It is.
While Galena meant a quick stop on the trail for the front runners, it also marked the end of the trail for half of the brother-sister team. 29-year-old Maria Hayashida of Wyoming scratched.
Well, I've liked the mountain parts because that's where I'm from. The river part I didn't like at all because my dogs weren't used to a wide expanse of nothing. But I've really felt at home in the mountains.
Another 52 miles down the Yukon is the checkpoint of Nulato. By the time Johnny Baker got to Nulato, he was running with the front of the pack. His gamble of driving to Ruby before taking his layover had put him among the top 10 teams. The 7th day of competition meant the final leg of the Yukon River, 42 miles into Caltag. It was still ladies first, with Dee Dee Johnroe out in front, but her lead was shrinking. Johnroe reached Caltag about 11 a.m. She crossed the Yukon in 22.5 hours, but Jeff King, who was also in Caltag, did it in just under 21 hours.
Well, I think it probably went pretty good. I'm glad it's done, even though the trail was excellent. But I'm just glad it's over.
King didn't show any signs of concern. He wasn't looking ahead, at least not yet. Instead, he was taking the advice of his wife.
Donna told me, don't worry about trying to get first to know them till you get to Unicleat and evaluate the situation with a nice dog. See where you are then. That's kind of the plan I'm on.
With the competition getting tighter, the mushers' moods seemed to get looser as they rested in the afternoon sun.
So what's going on with the Lewinsky case?
The laughs turned to seriousness a few hours later. That's when John Rowe left Caltag to begin a 90-mile trek to the coast. But the others were not going to let her out of their sight. The chase was on. But the fast times were over. The good trail and good weather was about to end. The next stretch of trail leads mushers through caribou country. Some of the largest herds in America roam in this area. As the trail continued to Unalakleet and the Bering Sea coast, snow became a precious commodity. Dirt and bare ground dominated the frozen ocean with only a few scattered patches of snow. It was the early morning hours of day 8 when the front runners got to Unalakleet, and there was a new leader. Jeff King received the National Bank of Alaska Gold Coast Award, $2,500 worth of gold nuggets.
Feel like reaching the coast. Feels good.
King was now ahead of John Rowe by just 6 minutes. Rick Swenson was part of the next wave of mushers who pulled into town. Swenson and Boozer were concerned about their race being over.
Oh, I'm just enjoying the ride now and enjoying how good the dogs are doing. We'll see.
It looks like a tight one this year. It's been a while since it's been a tight one like this.
I didn't have anything to do with it. Wasn't me, I didn't do it. Unfortunately.
But it was King and John Rowe who were doing it. They covered the next 40 miles to Shaktoolik with no problems, and they were still minutes apart. King arrived first, but he knew there was no room for error.
If I have a prayer of winning this race, it'll be like the others, and it's not being confident till you get there first.
As the dogs rested peacefully, there was some concern about a change in the weather. A possible storm was brewing.
It doesn't look very serious to me, and it sure could if it were to produce some zero visibility tonight or something. It'd be a bum deal and would change some things. I don't think anybody really expects that.
King would be surprised. Early that evening, an optimistic John Rowe left first.
This is going to happen, Terry.
With King right behind. The two traded the lead for miles before King stopped to change the runners on his sled.
But I can feel the snow dragging big time. And it's so warm out. I put the black on today because I was lazy. The yellow's much harder to get on.
While King worked, John Rowe moved back in front. By now, freezing rain was falling, and the early effects of a storm could be felt. King and John Rowe were again 1 and 2 when they got to Koyuk. The lead was 12 minutes. After the two left to begin a 48-mile run to Elam, the Iditarod's 5-time winner and Susan Butcher, another former champ, were pushing Mitch Seavey to make his move.
We're going to go at 10 o'clock. You better go get an hour's sleep.
Yeah, or go clean up the acre around my sled.
But Seavey didn't sleep. He was involved in a race within the race.
Sure, I'm going to go. In fact, I'm staying an hour longer than my plan had called for. I'm resting extra.
One by one, they were all going. Snow was now falling steadily as the leaders made their way to Elam. Jeff King came down the hill early in the afternoon. He took a break long enough to feed his dogs, have them checked, and work on a sled. 35 minutes later, King was headed out of town. It was another 20 minutes before John Rowe reached Elam. She had hit a piece of driftwood about 10 miles from the checkpoint. So when she showed up, she had a busted sled.
Right on Moses Point, when the wind was whipping really bad and the dogs were wanting to turn around, and I'm having to undo, in order to get it off the thing that it broke on, I had to take the gang line off, tie the dogs to a stump.
John Rowe wasted no time fixing the sled.
I'm up for suggestions on how to go about this.
Yeah, kind of zigzag it across the, back down this way. Perfect.
Yep.
There you go. Now put the Leatherman right where they're twisted together and put a couple twists on it.
And I think I can make this work.
Yeah.
Okay.
She did. In just over a half hour, John Rowe had the sled fixed, and within 45 minutes, she was ready to leave Elam. After John Rowe was gone, the 4 mushers fighting for 3rd place started to arrive. Martin Boozer was the last of the group to get to Elam.
John will show you which way to go. You want to stay here? And I'm going to stay here. Okay. I'm going to hibernate.
That hibernation lasted 18 hours. Boozer knew he had no chance of winning the race, and with the weather getting worse, had no reason to go on.
You know, after it's all said and done, only one person will have had a perfect race. And I doubt even that person's race was all perfect. And all of us, the rest of us will look like fools for having done this or having done that wrong. So, it's like George Atlas said, it's all about losing, isn't it?
Not everyone felt the same way. Mitch Seavey decided to go on. And so did Charlie Bolding. Doug Swingley opted to stay. Inside the checkpoint, Boozer and Swingley figured out how to enjoy the conveniences of Nome before they got there.
Maybe you guys got time, maybe you could send some stuff in from Nome. Yeah, they could fly stuff in from Nome, right? That we could call that phrase while they're out. Chinese food. No?
I like Fat Freddy's home cuisine.
Back on the trail, the leaders were moving toward Gullivan. It was a relaxed Jeff King during this stretch of the trail, knowing he had over an hour lead.
Can't wait for my latte and Nome.
He signed in when he got to Gullivan, but did not stop. He was lucky he didn't, because within 30 minutes, John Rowe was in Gullivan. She, too, kept going.
Okay, thank you. All right, guys. Goodbye.
On the ice of Gullivan Bay, while headed for White Mountain, King discovered that John Rowe had cut his lead by 45 minutes.
You gotta be kidding me.
With John Rowe closing, King called on his speed team. Red was put back up front in hopes of stretching the lead.
I just can't keep that big red leader in the trail. He wants to run off in the... I've been underestimating this dog team the whole race. Keep thinking everybody else's looks better, but they still got speed, and if we get a decent trail, they may trot right over there. But if I win it, it's going to be because of some things that I thought of that worked for my team.
Meanwhile, John Rowe had more problems on Gullivan Bay. Her team was tired of the wind, and she had to walk the dogs across part of the ice. By nightfall, the teams pulled into White Mountain. King arrived at 9:30. An hour and a half later, John Rowe pulled in. Now just 77 miles from the finish line, it was King's race to lose. By early morning, when King's layover was up, snow was falling again. Storms are not new to teams leaving White Mountain. The last storm to slow the leaders, Darren and Iditarod, hit in 1991. That year, Rick Swinson proved that determination can lead a team to victory.
I wanted to win the Iditarod.
and I wasn't going to win it going back to White Mountain.
This year, no one knew what was in store as King signed out and headed for Nome. A persistent Dee Dee Johnroe,
But one-time champion. I've been working 16 years to be a one-time champion.
was also ready when it was time for her to leave.
All right.
Thanks to Mother Nature, Iditarod 26 saved the worst for last. Heavy snow and fierce coastal winds battered King as he covered the last leg of the race. A ground blizzard reduced visibility to nothing. Made it almost impossible to keep moving forward. But like Swenson, King did not go back either. Instead, he went through the blizzard. With the help of his lead dogs, forged his way to the safety checkpoint. With 22 miles to Nome, King had harnessed the routine, the setbacks, and the competition. Now, he was harnessing the unpredictable.
I got a really good dog team, and I made some really shrewd calculations about the run-rest schedule and getting away from the routine of others. There's a whole bunch of great mushers in this race and history of this race. I look forward to being one of them. I've said it to me today, you know, I'm thinking, God, I can't believe I'm sitting in a position to win the Iditarod again.
He heads to the Burl Arch. Jeff King, ladies and gentlemen, is your 1998 Iditarod champion.
Right here. Way to go.
Hey, bud.
Thank you.
Good job.
Last year I finished behind 3 champions. This year I finished behind 1.
Getting closer.
He was a little faster on hard trail than I was, but then I was, after my leaders started figuring out what to do, I was better in the soft stuff.
I'm really delighted to finish 4th place, and it's a huge step up in the standings for us.
was the last finish there ever was.